us. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Time for your Wednesday Live. Welcome. Looks like we already got some chatting going on. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. Yeah, I think that little extra disclaimer, I like it. It gives people the time to kind of get on here and lets me get some things done. Because once I hit that live button, I still got 3 or 4 more things to do before I can even start talking, right? Even right down to my microphone, it's usually sitting over there, right? So I got to move it. Sometimes I'll forget to change the title. See, yeah, I do things consistently when you do this, or you will miss something. It still happens to me every now and again. What are you going to do? All right. Deal with those things as they come along. Yeah. Had another successful 2:00 meeting. Hopefully we had a nice lady there. This was her second time there. And she said, she's having a hard time getting out. Sometimes my heart just it breaks, man. It does. I wish I had something to help people get over that hump of beginning sobriety, man. It's just, it's a tough nut, man. Yeah. It's a tough one. I've already given her a big book and a 12 by 12. She still got all the numbers. Michelle, she said she still had your number. She said she still had my number. She's going to text me later. I'm going to send her the link to the Zoom. So hopefully it works. But I asked her some questions, but it didn't. My gut tells me that I wasn't able to. I didn't know if it worked. But she did make the agreement that she was willing to stay sober for the next 7 hours. Because I asked her, I'm like, well, how do you feel about 30 days of sobriety? She's like, that sounds like a very long time. I'm like, how about 2 weeks? Would you be willing to try staying sober for 2 weeks? And she's like, yeah, that sounds more doable. I'm like, and I said, well, how about 7 hours? Well, we just stayed sober the next 7-8 hours. And then that way you get through the day. She's like, yes, that I can do. See, so we're able to make an agreement, but sometimes the person's head still has too much going on for us to be able to get through to them. And it's tough, man. And I feel it too. I had to bow my head for a little bit in the car and just thank God for my life and ask for direction and help for this person. So it's the only thing left I could do. So, but the point is we were there, that we were still there. Yeah, I was, and maybe she'll see that since I was willing to commit going there, that she might be willing to commit to her own sobriety. So let's hope so. I asked her what she felt about God. She's like, I don't feel like I deserve God in my life. And that I was able to work with a little bit because I felt that way. And that's what we do. We let people know I know what you're going through. And a lot of times that can bring hope, give them a little bit of alleviation. Not always, but we try. And that's what matters, right? Now, we also need to learn when and how to help. There were several times in that meeting I said, God, I need the right words here. I need your words. Mine aren't going to cut it. So hopefully it worked. It's the hard part, living on hope. Yeah. It's not easy working the front lines. And God sends me tough cases. They're not easy. Not all of them make it. Sometimes you'll help somebody out. They'll go to somebody else and talk shit about you. That happened to me this week. You know, I didn't take it personally. There's no point. Why? Because I understand the disease. And we always want to blame an outside source. It's a lot easier to deal with when it's somebody else's fault, right? All right, welcome to Daily Trudge. I'm Dion. I'm going to be your host for this round of the Daily Trudge. I'm the only host. So far, you never know. You never, ever know. We might have some more people that want to start doing it. And I'll make the invite again if you ever want to come on, do this with me. It's actually pretty enjoyable. And I'll make it, you know me, I'm going to make it easy on you. I'll make sure you're covered. Yeah. So I'm used to running my mouth here. If you're here, please say hello. Live, rewatch, second rewatch. I don't know if there's any more there. All right, so we're going to do a random reading from the big book. Now, the only part that I don't like doing this is because I asked for a page between 1 and 164, but that cuts out the doctor's opinion. So give me a random number between 1 and 164.
1.
1. We are going to page 1. I don't read out of Bill's story very often. It's a story, so there's not much. I'm going to redo that because it's hard to do something with Bill's story. It is. All right. Because I'm going to have to cover the whole thing. There we go. It gave us 55 instead. Okay. Not quite as random because Dion's like, nah, no, it's tough to do that one. It really is. So we're going to go to 55, which looks like it's towards the end of We Agnostics. Right? So we're going to start at the top, page 54, so we got a little bit of wiggle room here. That's what we're going to do. Check something real quick. Okay. All right. We, too, found that we had been worshipers. What a state of mental goose flesh that used to bring on. Had we not variously worshipped people, sentiments, things, money, and ourselves? And then, with a better motive, had we not worshipfully beheld the sunset, the sea, or a flower? Who of us had not loved something or somebody? How much did these feelings, these loves, these worships have to do with pure reason? Little or nothing. We saw it last. Were not these things the tissue out of which our lives were constructed? Did not these feelings, after all, determine the course of our existence? It was impossible to say we had no capacity for faith or love or worship. In one form or another, we have been living by faith and little else. Yeah, we're talking about the God of reason. The God of reason. And boy, do we use that. Right? Yeah, but. It's usually what reasoning starts with. Yeah, but. Right? So, what we're talking about are people that refuse to believe in a higher power because they're atheists or agnostics. So we're trying to give them a little bit of direction is what we're doing. We're saying, well, you've been worshiping alcohol for years. You've been worshiping yourself. You've been worshiping, you know. Did you have a John Cassidy poster on your wall when you were a kid? See? Not many people are going to get that one. Well, actually, most of my listeners will, because they're a little bit older. They're women. 70% of my listeners are women over 40. So, except on Instagram, where most of my listeners are young men. So it's kind of weird. I'm trying to touch everybody's life, right? So, about that girl you chased, that boy that you chased that you just thought was the one. Okay. Tell me how much reason came into that. Tell me how your lust has any reason, that your overwhelming love had any reason behind it. Reasoning. No, it was, you made an action based off an emotion. Yeah. Right. And we're just trying to, you got the package. Awesome. Good to see you, Amber. Amber is a little special because I always send her a message that I'm live. I've been doing that for years now, I think. But now I got a little bit of time, so I send her more lengthy ones. What did I say today? Time for your pick up the kid from school live. I think so, at least. Because I wasn't sure. So, yeah, we've been worshipers of a lot of things. Yeah, you chased that alcohol, man. You went out of your way. You did everything you could to get that alcohol. Tell you to worship things. No, really, we're trying to help you find your higher power with the least resistance. That's what we're trying to do. Yeah. There's no point in trying to make it harder for someone else. That'd be silly. Right. And that's one of the things that I talked to the lady that was there earlier, that, now the thing is, she not married, no kids. So I wasn't able to tie her to accountability. But she was saying, God, I don't think God wants me. And so I'm like, when your dog wants a treat, do you make them jump through hoops to get that? She's like, no. And I said, well, God's not going to do that either. Because I too feel like you. God gave me 12 years of sobriety, gave me a beautiful life, and I turned around, took a dump on it. So I understand what you're saying, that you feel like you don't deserve to come back. And I felt that way too. And I was wrong. And I'm glad that I was wrong. And I want you to know that God is listening to you, and he does love you. And I know, because I love you for who you are. So I know God does too. Yeah. And I believe that. And I hope she felt it. Yeah. And I even asked her, I'm like, I've just asked, do you need a hug? She was crying, and sometimes I'm like, it's nothing to do with anything. I just want to make sure you're taken care of. I wanted to give her some hope before she left, and I don't think I accomplished it. All right. Imagine life without faith, where nothing left but pure reason. It wouldn't be life. But we believed in life. Of course we did. We could not prove life in the sense that you could prove a straight line is the shortest distance between 2 points. Yet there it was. Could we still say the whole thing was nothing but a mass of electrons created out of nothing, meaning nothing, whirling onto the destiny of nothingness? Of course we couldn't. The electrons themselves seem more intelligent than that. At least so the chemist said. Yeah. That's the thing, is I don't need to run around and prove the existence of God to other people now. I only need to worry about me. I'll give you, you guys know who Ricky Gervais is, right? He's a comedian in England. He is a devout atheist, and he talks about God and atheism, but still there, he's got a great set of morals. That, and he's just funny as I think he's just really funny. All right. He even has his own whiskey that he promotes. I don't care. But he doesn't put down. He does not put people down that believe in God. He doesn't do that. Doesn't need to. He's like, if that's what they want to believe, that's great. I'm choosing not to. All right. Doesn't need to. He might be a member one day. I don't know if he's an alcoholic or not. I don't know. But he is hilarious, right? Well, yeah, it's not for me to run around and shove God down people's throats. Hence, we saw that reason isn't everything. Neither is reason, as most of us use it, entirely dependable. Though it emanate from our best minds, what about people who prove that man could never fly? Now, here's the thing. Though it emanate from our best minds, the thing is, my best mind, my best thoughts got me where? Well, it got me drunk. It got me in detox. It got me in jail. It got me in trouble. So my reasoning, neither is reason, as most of us use it, entirely dependable. I do it myself. I'll take care of me. I'm grown. I'm an adult. I'm a man. I'll take care of it. Right? That fear of asking for help, that 1,000-pound telephone. It's tough. I know. Yet we've been seeing another kind of flight, a spiritual liberation from this world. People who rose above their problems. They said God made these things possible. We only smiled. We had seen spiritual release, but like to tell ourselves it wasn't true. Or that it wasn't for us. Oh, that's great for them. That's really, yeah, I'm happy for them. Yeah, but that's not for me. Right? Actually, we've been fooling ourselves. For deep down in every man, woman, and child is the fundamental idea of God. It may be obscured by calamity, by pomp, by worship of other things, but in some form or another, it is there. For faith in a power greater than ourselves and miraculous demonstrations of that power in human lives are facts as old as man himself. We finally saw that faith in some kind of God was part of our makeup just as much as the feeling we have for a friend. Sometimes we had to search fearlessly, but it was there. But he was there. He was as much a fact as we were. We found the great reality deep down within us. In the last analysis, it is only there that he can be found. And it was so with us. Now, okay, you hear me say this a lot, where I will say that, if alcoholics are not given, if alcoholics don't find God, then they're going to go after something else. And they listed it, the pomp, these different things. Now I'll play you a short video, okay? And this is actually where I get it from. All right. So check this out.
Who's to say that the boy will be happier your way or mine? Why not let him decide?
No, I'm afraid it don't work that way. You can't let a young'un decide for himself. He'll grab at the first flashy thing with shiny ribbons on it. Then when he finds out there's a hook in it, it's too late. Wrong ideas come packaged with so much glitter, it's hard to convince them that other things might be better in the long run. All a parent can do is say, wait, trust me, and try to keep temptation away.
There we are. There it is. All we can really do is try and keep temptation at bay. Okay? But alcoholics will go after shiny things. The alcoholics, their number one obsession when they recover is trying to find an easier, softer way. That's what this lady was doing earlier. She's trying to find an easier, softer way. It doesn't exist. We have tried all of these ways. They have been repeated over and over and over again with no success. And to think that it's going to be different now because a group of people is saying it is who are non-alcoholic, they don't know. They don't understand. They do not understand. They might be educated, but that doesn't mean they understand. And whereas I appreciate them getting educated, I really, really do. I call these people servants' hearts. And we do need them around. Okay. But I'm seeing all these new fangled ways, and they're all clinical. Okay. Now, AA or recovery is partly clinical, but it is mostly spiritual. It is a new way of life. And how is somebody who has never been in my position going to teach me how to have a new way of life when I can't even be honest with them? Whereas they talk to you or me, they won't tell you those lies because they know that you know better. It's true. Stick around long enough. You'll see it. You'll see it. We can only clear the ground a little bit if our testimony helps you sweep away prejudice, enables you to think honestly, encourages you to search diligently within yourself. Then, if you wish, you can join us on the broad highway. With this attitude, you cannot fail. The consciousness of your belief is sure to come to you. All right. That's going to be it for this one. I just knew some people needed an afternoon live. I'm kidding. It was a little bit of several eggs. All right. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do.